Kamie, that seems like it's 4 quarters of pretty consistent, written up the way that it should be basketball, maybe 4 of your best quarters in the game that you've had this year.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we really responded. I thought we were a little jittery in the first quarter and you know, made a few mistakes, but you know, I think this team really responds well, obviously, after a loss, and I think we had their full attention throughout the week, and I think they prepared unbelievably well, and we were very determined not to give up threes against this team. We did the last time. I think they made 13 or something against us the last time, and
13? Wow.
and we just did a phenomenal job at that tonight. They got 3 in the first half and 3 in the second, and I think that just we really got them out of rhythm because we took that away from them, and I think that threw them into, they clearly couldn't score very good, and then we got our feet under us a little bit, and Kiana Williams was tremendous and just responded tonight to and had I think maybe her best game that she's played since she's been here. And that's saying a lot, and just the fact that she had such a bad game against Eastern Washington and was told it many times and shown it on film, and just, you know, I just love her response. I love that she just took it upon herself, and she was, you know, she was really good offensively and defensively.
Is she kind of the answer you've been asking to at least be there when one of the others that are relied on for scoring has one of those nights and you haven't more times than not, you haven't had somebody step up, and this was an example of what she can do, you know, when she needs to?
Well, I think it's huge to have three people in double figures. So she's the third tonight. I think we've consistently had 2. Well, it might be a different person every night. Courtney Smith doesn't have quite as many tonight for early foul trouble. But when we're really good and spreading it well and scoring well, we have 4. Or you know, if we could really get it, maybe 5. But that position, I think the 4 position, that stretch 4, that if you can find a person who can handle the ball well enough that they can reverse the ball and keep you in offense and you know, shoot it well enough that you have to come out and guard, handle it well enough that, you know, you can't fall asleep on them because they'll drive it to the basket, and she just fits that. She has to fit that because she's so undersized. She better be good at all those other things because she has to guard bigger, you know, so there's a lot of things she has to do, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having, and I think some of the most successful 4s in our game are undersized stretch 4 players that can really put a lot of pressure on defenses because you have to guard them so deep.
The girls said that you labeled it as, this train's on the track now, and it's going. And to translate that, is this the beginning of what needs to be a huge momentum rush at the right time we're going into, what, 4 games left, and then the tournament, and
Right.
you need to be peaking right now, starting tonight.
Right. I do think, I think we learned valuable lessons in the 2 losses that we had, and probably those 2 teams are a little bit alike, so their physical play and their aggressiveness kind of took us out in both of those games. Now, we've responded. After the North Dakota, we responded well. We played a great game against Idaho. We've done some good things, and then after Eastern, obviously, we came back with a really good performance tonight. So I think we can gain confidence even in a loss. I think we can see our mistakes and see what we weren't good at. And I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about for this team is, you know, we have some non-negotiables as far as playing with passion and energy and being a really energetic team and great body language and great communicating team. And we weren't any of those things against Eastern. And that was my point to Kiana as much as anyone, is that if she's not those things, if she's not the glue stuff, if she's not the intangible player, she's not good enough or talented enough offensively or in any part of the game to, oh, I'm so good I get my 20 anyway. No, if she's not these gritty stuff, and if we're not that gritty team, we can't be successful. And I think you saw a team tonight really committed to the dirty work and the more grit and harder, you know, the hard part of the game. It's a hard thing to duplicate game after game and practice after practice because it takes kind of emotional investment and physical investment and mental investment. And I think we did a great job this week preparing ourselves to show up in those facets of the game every time out now. That's the goal, at least. Now we'll see. We talk about it all the time. It's halftime of this game, and we just had a great first half, and we've got to handle our success and then come back and play a great second half against Idaho State.
Well, and I think the non-coaching person will look at things and say next week that is a huge matchup in Grand Forks in terms of when you start getting the tiebreakers and everything else. And, you know, talk about this train needs to be with the pedal to the metal by that time. And tonight's an indication that it's headed that way. Like you said, tomorrow needs to be the same thing. Do you even ever, and maybe even now, tonight and Saturday, scoreboard watch?
No, I really don't think anything helps us in that. I mean, we're not good enough to put ourselves in a top 4 seed right now. We haven't made the top 4 seed, and that is on my mind more than anything.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to play on Monday. And so, you know, obviously I don't want to play on
That's
Monday.
the first game, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to be a top 4 seed and play and have that first round bye. I think that is, and it's still up for grabs. I mean, Idaho State losing drops them back again. If we beat Idaho State, they may get out of it. Eastern Washington, so I can scoreboard watch and think, okay, what is Eastern's doing? And they could stay up there. So I'm not cocky enough or I mean, I'm really confident in our team. I think someone's going to go 5-0 starting tonight, or now 4-0, and win this league. I don't think every team's going to have another loss of the 3 that are tied right now. So I don't know who that team's going to be, and it could potentially be 2 teams that end up there. So I think
I know one that isn't.
one of the 2 isn't,
Yeah,
right?
2 faces.
But I think Montana State could end up being there, and then either one of these other 2 has the chance. It could be a 2-way tie. I don't know how it plays out, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone ends up with just 2 losses. And, you know, we're there right now, but the only thing we can deal with that matters is coming to practice in the morning and getting ready for a physical Idaho State team that is fighting for a top 4 seed, and that gives them great motivation to come in here and try to catch us sleeping.
All right, I don't have anything else in this.
This is a little bit off the subject, but can you comment on UCONN streak?
Oh, I just have so much respect for Gino and his staff and what he's done. He's a phenomenal basketball mind. He's a phenomenal psychologist, and how he can, you know, he's just, it's what's impressive about it is I think his recruiting is so good. He just gets great kids, or he gets kids that want to be great, and he builds a culture that really produces great teammates, great competitors, really respectful kids. I mean, it's the stuff that I really appreciate as a coach. You go to his practice and all their shirts are tucked in, and they wear the same stuff, and no one's bigger than, you know, nowadays everybody's got to pull their jersey and do this and roll their shorts, and everybody's still got their individual thing. And he's not like that. He wasn't like that with the USA basketball team. He's so much, it's all about team and sacrifice and giving to the group and being a great teammate. And you know, I love the fact that stuff is important to him, because then when he wins a lot, he obviously he's produced really great kids in that, and they're really great competitors. So now he gets the best players, and he coaches them the best, and they stay for 4 years, and it's real hard in the women's game to ever equal, you know, the top 4, top 8 that have so much more talent and better talent. Yeah, I feel like there's UCONN, and they might be by themselves, and then there's probably 6 or 7 that could jump in there and win one of those, and then a lot of us can compete for those other 15 and down. But you know, sustaining that kind of greatness is an amazing thing, and I think the world of him. I think he's a tremendous coach, and I wish the rest of the game could catch up a little bit. I just don't know that it can, because of there's just not that much talent in women's basketball. In the men's basketball, I think you could get a top 400 kid, and they may end up being, there are just a lot of talented guys. JUCO, there's just a ton of talented guys, and in the women's game, there's not that much to spread around. So it's real hard to catch them at this point, unless he retires.
To get kids that are going to stay longer than a year or 2 years.
Right. Now, yeah, the top one and dones.
Yeah.
So that's why the Butlers of the world are those guys that could
Right.
they're all seniors that grow up, and then
Right.
they play those freshmen and they have a chance. And we don't ever get that in ours. We just get UConn 4 years later, and they're still better than us. But good for them, and I hope it's good for women's basketball. I know they have a great mystique and aura and a lot of respect around the country, so I think that's good for us.